tell me that I lie. If I can't look you in your eyes, for a second think that I will fall. I won't fall. Your tricks won't do it on me. Don't tell me that I lie. If I can't look you in your eyes, for a second think that I will fall. I won't fall. Your tricks won't do it on me. Don't tell me that I lie. If I can't look you in your eyes, for a second think that I will fall. Your tricks won't do it on me. Don't tell me that I lie. If I can't look you in your eyes, for a second think that I will fall. Your tricks won't do it on me.
What's up YouTube? I'm back again with this new video. As I promised you last year that this year I'll be giving you a very different vibe when it comes to the tutorials. So happy new year everyone. And I just started the year in a very bad mood, because in a bad start, or in a bad way, because I used to upload each and every Monday and I failed to upload last Monday. But okay, we're not there. I'm sorry for that. So I said last year I will be dropping a video, I will be dropping tutorials which will show you how to get your mix to sound professional, and I will do it step by step. As you have already seen in the intro, that we'll be doing that song. We'll be doing this song you see on screen. We'll make sure this song sounds the same way as the song you seen in the intro. So we'll do this step by step, where each episode or each video will be focusing on a specific thing. So the first episode of this video will be focusing only on two things. And number one, reference track, and number two, organizations. So those two steps are very important, but we'll be combining those two steps on this one tutorial. Then our next episode will be something which is very different, until we get the song to sound perfect, as you have seen in the intro. So achieving like a clean mix is one of the most complicated ways, one of the most complicated things to do, especially as a beginner producer. So that's what we'll be doing. Like, we will getting our mix to sound very professional. I want to make sure, like, after watching those, or after watching the entire series, you will be able to make your song to sound perfect, and your song will be ready such a way you can put it on Apple Music, Spotify, the list goes on. So but one of the things you need to understand, like, getting the professional sound, those professional sound is never easy. It is one of the hardest things you need to do, you know, because there are a lot of steps you need to follow so that you can get your mix to sound perfect. So as I've already mentioned, the first step, the one thing that you need to understand, is a reference track. So what is a reference track? A reference track is a common in the audio engineering world. So this term is very common in the audio engineering world or in the production world. This term is very common. A reference track can be simply defined as another song that you can compare your song to. For an example, when I was making this song, I compared this song to Sally Sosa. I'm a big fan of Sally Sosa. She's a female artist in America. I think she's an upcoming artist. So every time I mix this song, I'll compare my song to Sally Sosa's song, you know. So a reference track is that song which you compare your song to. Let's say you are making a drill song. It will be very wise when you make a drill song to compare your drill song to Lil TJ's drill song, or to compare your song to 5-Year drill song. That will be very wise, so that you can understand what kind of elements or what you need to do to your mix to get your song to sound perfect. That is the first thing you need to understand, is to understand, like, you need to get a reference track depending to the kind of a genre, to the kind of sound that you are doing. Let's say you sing, you know. My brother, like, been asking me to do like the weekend vocal effect. I'm still trying my level best because I can't sing. I'm still trying to find someone who can sing for me. Unless someone can send me the vocals, then I will work around the vocals. So let's say like you're doing like the weekend vocal, you're doing like the weekend type of music, you know. So if you're doing the weekend type of music, you need to download at least one song of the weekend which is similar to your song. Then when every time you mix the song, you try to compare those two songs, whether they are sounding the same way. So yeah, so you need to spend some time when you're doing this, listen to your song back and forward until you feel like, okay, what you're doing is you're doing it the right way, you know. So one of the main reasons music producers do this is because they are uncreating their music in a sonical treated space. This generally means like, okay, for example, I come from a very small town. There are no professional audio engineers, you know. So most of the time we record our songs on our bedroom, and we barely treat our bedroom, or we watch YouTube videos. Okay, this person treated his room like this, then we started copying that that person, and sometimes we may be doing we may be doing it the wrong way, because that person, his room is totally not similar to your room. We're just copying. So one of the reasons you need to find a reference track is that you can understand how that person's song sounds compared to your song, you know, because we don't have well treated bedrooms or recording studios. Our recording studios, they are not well treated, you know. So that is very, very important. So another thing is we use headphones during the entire process of mixing the song. So for me, I do own like a couple of studio monitors, and I have two studio headphones. So if you're starting up, you'll get yourself a microphone, you'll get yourself a microphone, and you get yourself like a studio headphones, or you get yourself any headphones. Then you will start making music, either making or mixing that song. You go to show it to your friends. That is not how it's done. That is not how mixing music should be done, you know. You need a couple of studio monitors, you need studio headphones, so that you don't mix the song, or because like after mixing your song, you need to hear your song that it sounds great on different audio outputs, and different sound outputs. Like you need to hear how your song sound on your speakers, how your song sound on studio monitors, how it sound on earphones, how it sounds on a car speaker, on a normal Bluetooth speaker. You need to make sure like how your song sound on all those different audio output sounds, you know. So having a reference track will help you like understand that, okay, this his vocals are wide like this, so I need to get my vocals wide like this, you know. I hope you do understand what I'm trying to say, but if you don't, please do leave a comment. So using a reference track is an easy way to see if your track will sound good on any different speakers. Since a professional mixed the song most likely was mixed in a treated space and has been tested on several systems. As I've already mentioned, I have written a couple of notes to make sure like I'm not going out of the box. So as I've already said, like you need to make sure like you hear your song on different speakers, phone speakers, studio monitors, headphone on a car. So because the song you are comparing your song to is it was recorded in a well-treated space, you know, you need to compare your song to Justin Bieber's song. I'm not saying like your song needs to sound exactly like Justin Bieber's song. It won't sound, because even the microphones we are using, that are totally different. For example, Justin Bieber may be using Sony C800G or Sony G800C, whatever, and you will be using like a Neumann U87. So those microphones have like different range when you are recording, so your song won't sound the same. Even your voice, they are not sounding the same. But you need to understand, okay, is my song really similar to Justin Bieber's song, you know? So there are a few questions that you need to ask yourself before you can confirm your song is perfect. So the whole purpose of this is to train and calibrate your ears, you know. So because you need to do A/B testing, you know. So say this is your mix, then down you will put Nicki Minaj test or Nicki Minaj song, so you can compare it. Okay, after listening to your song, you mute it and you listen to another song to make sure like your song they are sounding good. So to understand what we are doing, there are a couple of questions you need to ask yourself so you can see like your mix is sounding good. So the first question, how wide is my song compared to the reference track? So how wide, I never mentioned anything the word wide in this YouTube channel before, but how wide means how big your song it is, how fat your song it is. I can simply explain it like that. How does my panning compare to the reference track, you know? So sometimes we need to pan. As you can see, this is the main vocal. Here we have the left is not our panning to the left, you know, our panning to the left. You see I will do this later on. I'll show you this later on, but you can pan your song to the left side. That means you need to pan it on the left side. Then you go to a different song, another vocal, you pan it to the right, so that you can understand all those different kinds of things. So every time you mix your song, let's say like you play your song will be wide. You don't have to pan the same. The vocals would look the same. This vocal is totally different to this vocal. It's totally different to this vocal. I don't know why it shows me this for real. I really don't know, but I don't need this right now. I don't need it right now. I don't need this right now. But the first thing you need to understand is you need to be able to pan your song. You need to be able to pan your song. Record so many vocals. This is my main vocal, this is my second vocal, you pan it to the right, this one is another vocal, pan it to the right. That's how you get your mix to sound a little bit fat, wide, just like that. Okay, so this doesn't mean you should mirror your reference track exactly as you have slightly different elements on your song, because my song will be made of, let's say my song is a guitar and the reference track, my reference track is a piano. Although like those two things, like they have like the similar frequencies, they should not sound the same, but the aim is to make sure my song is a kind of little bit similar to that song. So the first question I said, how wide my song compared to the reference track, which means how fat my song is. So I need to get my vocal to sound fat, you need to get my beat to sound good, you know. Just make sure like you one of the things that I would prefer when you're buying the beat on YouTube, just try to buy a wave beat, you know. You need to buy a wave beat. Let's go to the second question. What elements dominate each frequency band and audible spectrum? What do I mean by this? Okay, so talking about frequencies, we know like the piano. Okay, let me first go here before I move to the next one. Okay, this is my circle, you know, this is my circle, you know. So getting a song wide, that means this is where your song will be, this is how your song, this is where your song will sound, you know. So getting your mix wide, this means like your song needs to go around this entire circle, you know. If your song is doing like this, that means your song is mono. So panning it to the right, like your vocal to your right, let me just use a different color, that means your song will move to the right a little bit, it will move to the right, another vocal will be sounding this side, then you pan again to the right, you pan to the left to the first one, then you pan to the right. That means your song will be wide, because you're not only playing here, some of your vocals that are sounding to the left, another vocal that are sounding to the right. And matter of fact, beat makers also love to do this, because they will pan their instrument. Let's say they will pan their let's say their violin, they will pan it to this side, you know. They will pan their violin to this side, then they will use they pan their guitar or their bass, what else they can pan, their hi-hats slightly to the right, you know. So this is how your song should sound. Okay, your vocal, you don't have to pan your main vocals, your vocal will stay in the beat between the lines. Your vocal, this is where your vocal should sound. Your vocal need to be between, your main vocals need to be here between, then you pan your second vocals a little bit to the left, then you pan another one a little bit to the right. you know, you pan it to a little right. Then the beat makers will also pan their instruments to the left and to the right, depending on what how they feel in that specific day. So this is what you need to understand about getting your song wide and stuff. So the second question is, say, what elements dominate in each frequency? So I will just draw a little box. I will just draw this box, you know. So I'll use just okay, as I was saying, the second question is what elements dominate each frequency band or an audible spectrum. So I'll make an example about this simple EQ. As you can see, here we have our sub, here we have our bass, low, mid, high, mid, what do you hear inside, percussion and triples. So what happens here, you need like to understand, like we just divide those things into three things. So I'll divide it to three. I'll just break it here. Let me just try to just break it around this. Let me break it around this. So in this section, we're having our highs. Here we're having our mids. Here we are having our lows. So this means like if you do make beats, or you do understand, most of the time your vocal will be sounding here on your mids and on your highs. There are no vocals on your lows, or there are little or no vocals on your low, and your kicks, your 808s, your bass will be on the lows. Then they will be here on the lows, and there will be little 808 or the bass on your mids, you know. So the second question, let me read the second question. What elements dominate each frequency band, you know. So you need to understand, okay, what dominates the highs, what dominate the lows, what dominate the mids, you know, what dominate the mids. So you need to understand all those kind of things. No, so does my reference track have the kick dominating the low end? Is it bass line? You need to understand, okay, what dominates my low end, you know. Usually on the low end it is a bass. Sometimes it may be a kick depending what kind of a song, but on this one it was a bass, you know. So another question is, what elements is sitting in my low mids? What elements dominate the mid range? Excuse me, how bright, how airy, how crispy is my high end, and compared to the reference song. So I'm the big fan of a crisp sound. Hope you did notice. Allow my vocals to bump on this place. All right, allow my vocal to have a little bit of a boost on my high end when it comes to my voice, my vocals. And then it depends. Like Solid Saucer, I don't think like he boosts his vocal that much like I do when it comes to the height, you know. So okay, we use I do have like let me just go quickly to one of the EQs I usually use. I think I use traffic. Okay, so this is one of the example. Yeah, this is the easiest example I can show you. This is our lows, this is our mids, these are our highs. Sometimes in my previous videos you'll see, okay, I'll just boost this a little bit, then I'll boost this a little bit, then I'll boost this. Why do I do that? Because I know, okay, right now I'm dealing with the vocals. For example, I will be dealing with the vocals, and I do know on my vocals I have little or no vocals on the low end. Then in the mids I have a little bit of a vocals, that's why I usually boost it a little bit. Then on my highs I'll boost it like a big time compared to other frequencies, you know. So I hope right now you do have you do understand what I do. So 1, 2, this block will be my highs. On my previous tutorials you'll see like I'll just do it like this because I do know like I have little or no vocals sitting here. But if it was a kick, I'll just boost it a little bit. I will just boost it a little bit because a kick has so much character on the low end, but the vocals have no character on the low end. They have character on the high end, also in the mids, you know. So that is another thing you need to understand. Okay, let me ask the third another last question you may ask yourself. There are so many questions you can ask yourself to make sure like your sound sounds a little bit similar to your reference track. How does the depth how does the depth of my song compare to my reference track? So I've already mentioned this. This is a little bit similar to the first question, of which the first question said how wide my song compared to my reference track. So how depth your song is, just the same circle, like how wide the song is. It's just one of the same thing. If you can get your song wide, that means you can get your depth of your song to sound perfect. And also again, we are using our EQ to do this perfectly, so is my reference track absolutely dry or hard hitting? This is one of the small questions you can ask. Does everything sound like a band playing in the same room? This is one of the most important things. Your vocals need to you need to glue your vocals. You need to glue your vocals straight to the beat. You don't have to sound like your beat was recording in a different environment. The beat, the reverb needs to sound like the same way. They need to sound like they're on the same environment. So that was the first step you need to do before you get your song to sound perfect. If you can rewatch this and rewatch this, you'll understand what I'm saying. If you don't, just leave a comment. So going to the second step is organization. Like I think I did show you this before. Organizing is like just double clicking here, just writing this beat, so that you can understand this is a beat, so that even in the mastering process you can understand what was happening here. Then click this, just write main, let me just write main V, so that you can understand this is your main. You can change it, let's just use pink for the vocals. This is a main. Double click here, vocal left, let's call it like a vocal left. Okay, that color is good. Let's just call it vocal right. Then for this one you need to change the color to a different color, because now those are ad libs. Okay, that's how simple like you organize your songs on MixPad. So one of the things like I will prefer you to do, because like when you start mixing your song, you don't just start mixing all the entire song. You start with a certain vocal, then you move to the next vocal, then you move to the next vocal. So for the ad libs, you can mute your ad libs, click around here, then you click there. Then so it can be that small, so that also here you just click here, click there, and bring it. It can be small. Click here, click there, so that it can be small. Then you will focus on your main. Then you focus on your main vocal. After like mastering this vocal and making sure like it sounds perfect the way you want it to sound, then you can just click here. Then you come here. Then you make it big. I would prefer to mix like your left and the right vocals at the same time, because like I feel like those are twins. It's just another twins have the right hand, another one have the left hand. You need to mix those both songs at the same time and make sure like they complement one another. Okay, another thing I will say, like, you need to understand like the happiest thing or the nicest thing about using MixPad. After naming whatever you name there, it will automatically name itself here. So even if you mix here, you'll know, okay, this is my vocal left. I need to pan this vocal to the left side. I need to pan those vocal to the right side. Then you start working around it. But I don't know why it does keep showing me this. Maybe I have to change this into 2 dynamic plays. I don't remember how I did it last time I did it. So this is a beat. I want my beat to be here. My vocal left. Let me put it that the way. My vocal right. This will be my vocal right. Then my LEE, it will be my beat. I really don't know what's happening here, but this is you, you know. As this is you, this is how you pen. But I prefer to do this after you mix your entire song. But for now, what you need to understand, you need to be able to pen this to the right, pen this to the left. Get your song, you don't have to pen your main vocal. I think that's all for these tutorials. But if you don't understand anything, feel free to leave a comment. Feel free to leave a comment below, ask me any questions, so that on the next episode I can go deep to what you asked me, guys. Ask me anything, and I'll be seeing a lot of comments on I should do a certain artist vocal effect. As I've already mentioned in this tutorial, I can't sing, so for some of the artists you guys recommend, I don't know them, you know, so I need to go to check them out and listen to their song multiple times before I do their vocal chain, or before I do their how to sound like them, you know. But for the weekend I can't sing. I'm still looking for someone who can sing for me, who have like a similar voice to the weekend, so that I can do it. What else can I say? The second episode will be very different, and we'll be starting to get into the music theory, you know. We'll be doing, let me double check what we'll be doing after this. We'll be focusing on the compressor, we'll focusing on how to compress your vocal, all those kind of things. But I believe like the first thing, and let me just put like on an EQ side for the next episode. I'll be showing you how to EQ your vocals the right way and stuff. So EQing your vocals, show me like we'll be doing this in how to EQ your vocal. We need to show our vocal is posted on this part. We have little or no vocals around this area, so that's what our second episode we will be doing. I think that's all for now. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I believe I'll see you on the next tutorial.